Okay, it's big review time. We're going to have a look at the Sherman Mk.Ic Firefly with the hybrid hull. This one's come to me hot off the press from Christmas. Nice little present. So, as I was talking about in the Sherman Mk II video, if any of you saw that, Dragon kits can be a bit hit and miss. If you know them from back in the day, you would have expected to have everything you need in this kit, maybe even a metal barrel, loads of photo etch, individual tracks, etc, etc. As time's gone on, things have changed a little bit, and some you can't always guarantee what's going to be in the box, and even to each release. So this is a re-release of a kit that I think came out in 2010, and I think has had another release as well. A lot of companies use stock images, so it doesn't have that. It would just be this on the website saying the new price, and you've got no idea what's in it. The previous edition had the DS tracks, which is their vinyl tracks that can disintegrate very quickly. But here you've got an upgrade. So we've got the Magic tracks, which is the T48 Magic tracks, which is the ones with the big rubber pad and the sort of chevron moulded into it. And you've also got the ones for going around the sprockets and the idler, where they're at a slight angle. And we've got 3D printed duckbills. So that changes this kit, in my opinion, because now you've got individual link tracks with 3D printed duckbills, which actually, if you were to buy them separate, especially the duckbills, you'd be looking at quite a lot of money. Now, this kit I got from the Tank Museum, and it was $64.99, and you can get it for about 60 quid, but I don't mind spending a bit more if it's at the Tank Museum, because I don't mind supporting them. So that's how we got to where we are. Now we'll have a look through the kit, and we'll start with the instructions. Now you do get a whole pile of stuff in this one, and with the instructions you can actually see how much of this kit is not used. It's all the blue. You actually got a little bit more, because this hole here you do get the other turret, so it's a interesting kit. Now running on through here, we've got the latest suspension, which is obviously normal for these, of the VVSS suspension running through, with the sort of spade there as well that lets the track run. Then we're down onto the transmission cover, which has the correct casting numbers on it. We've got the rear plate all onto the lower hull. We've got to do a little bit of surgery up here to fit on fenders, front fenders. We've got the different types of exhausts as well, like the pepper pot type or the normal type. So you need to pick your references and do a little bit of checking on that. And then we've got the doors going in. We've got photo etch fenders or plastic fenders. We've got a extra armour plate going on the side of the hull there as well. So this is the hybrid hull, which has got a cast front and welded rear. Looks as though we've got the casting numbers on here as well, which is good touch. It's always important with the Shermans. Then we go off and finish the rear of the hull. We've got a bit of photo etch grills going on. We've got tail light guards, which are photo etch or plastic. And then we've got, again, some photo etch for the tool clasps and tie downs. Now this was an interesting, I didn't mention this in the Sherman video for the Sherman 2. It should have this early type 50 cal machine gun with the early mount and the early style of ammo box. Now that's what we've got here, and I thought, I can use both types because I can use the later type on this kit. And then I realised British Shermans don't usually carry the anti-aircraft machine gun. They weren't really interested in it, so they took it off. However, the Sherman Mk IIs did carry them. The Fireflies didn't. So I can use this on the Sherman Mk II, but it should have been in the Sherman Mk II kit, because every single photo has this machine gun mounted. So that was a bit of a miss from Dragon. They could have easily added it. So now we're going up onto the turret. As you can see, what's this? 7 stages. Pretty easy to get round. So we've got the Firefly turret going on, we've got the rear housing as well, machine gun, which we will be leaving off, a few little boxes, we've got the travel lock as well going on the back, and steel cable, bit of photo etch with spare track on the front, and then this is where we put the tracks on before we bring the lower hull together. We've got 3 options, so we're looking at A Squadron, which is Coldstream Guards, Germany 45. We've got 6 Armoured Squadron, which is, I won't try and pronounce that, in Italy 1945. And then we've got the first, I won't pronounce that either. It looks like Polish or Czech divisions, these are, which is Italy 45, which is the Semester 2, which is on the box art. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to get going. There's lots of parts, but it's pretty. There's not a lot of stages to get through to the end. Now we do have an awful lot of parts, so I'll start getting them out, and we'll work out where we are. This is never going to go back in the box, is it? Once I do all this. So we've got two types of wheels and bogies. So these are the bogies that we use, and the wheels. But then we use some wheels off of there as well. Oh, I think you get the option. So it might be that we'll need to do a bit of reference checking. Yes, because you can use D6 or V8. So this is V sprue, this is D sprue, this is V sprue. So we can use either wheel. I'm hoping we can get away without opening the bags, but if it gets a problem I will open them. But there you can see, so we've got these wheels, which are very nice, and they've got the open sort of centre, and then we've got the more traditional ones which have got the closed off centre. Now I would have thought we'd most likely be using these wheels, but I will have a check. Now as we look at the bogies, this is another thing as well. This is what's very important. Hopefully you can see down the middle section there is the casting number. And that's something that I've come to really want in Sherman kits. It's the same there as well, as you can see. You've got the casting numbers. So that's always a nice touch, and it adds to the level of detail that you're going to get in the finished kit. We've also got some spare bolts there as well, if you are so inclined to add those on. We've also got casting numbers here, printed in the sort of swing arms on the front face there as well. So very good. High level of detail. Then let's look at the hybrid hull as well. I will open some bags. So let's get in there. We only live once, don't we? So here we've got the nice cast texture, as you can see, going around there, and then here we've got the casting number there and the maker's mark. Very, very nice touch. I mean, I don't know what you'd want to add to this. You've even got the welding marks there as well. I can't see that there's much to worry about. I think this would be a very straightforward build. Not a problem at all. Very interesting, very nice kit, good looking. We've got the casting mark there as well, quite hard to see, but it's there. Just see it there in the shadow on the transmission cover. Lovely cast detail here on the hubs as well for the sprockets. And there's the blind side there with the welded edges of the applique armour that goes on the side of the hull. Very nice, welded all around the edge, you can see. So you just got to glue it on. Lovely stuff, really nice. Now we've got a bit more applique armour here, and we've got the mantlet, which also has the correct casting number on it. Very happy. I'm going to be repeating myself here. Casting numbers, casting numbers, casting numbers. All sorts of little bits as well, little extras in there, and we've got spare barrel that we're not going to use for a kind of 75 Sherman, which is always nice, hollowed out, slide moulding, as you can see there. And we've got the machine gun here, sprue. This is the sprue that should have been in the other kit, but it's in this kit, so that's fine. I'll just put it in the other kit. And there's the early mount is here and there with the early style ammunition box. Couple of rear plates there as well. Nice stuff. Right, what have we got here? We'll open this one as well. Because guess what? There's more casting numbers. Oh joy. Exciting stuff, isn't it? Right, so we've got a turret. Is this the Firefly turret? No, this is not. So this is the spare turret. So this is a nice touch. You get this spare 75 turret, and this is actually the sprue that comes in my Sherman Mk.Ic kit. So this is what you get in there, and you get a little bit of casting marks here and there on internal doors, on this type of mantlet there. And lots of nice texture. Hollowed out machine guns. Another slide moulded barrel. One has got the flared end. Not that, I think that's the other one I just showed you. And then there's a nice cast texture on the turret. And you've got these raised panels. If you're wondering what that is, I don't know if we can see. There's kind of like a square here, like a square seam. There, that's actually evident on the actual tank. Same here as well. It's like sections that get pushed into the casting sort of process. They're all cast as one piece, but there is a sort of mould line, if you like. So that's nice. We won't dwell too long on a piece that we don't actually use. And then we've got another section here as well with all different rear parts to it. The way Dragon did their Sherman kits is they kind of like they did this sprue, and then they did this sprue, and that's A and B, and that caters for an awful lot of Shermans already, and then you get different holes and things like this. But this is probably the oldest sprue, and sometimes it's got a date, but it's not. So it is showing some signs of age compared to some of the more modern stuff. Like this transmission housing doesn't have any of the cast texture really, or the casting numbers, but this is where your tools are, so it's simple enough for the generic tools. The tow cable kind of ends as well, and some rear plates of which I don't think we use, and the moulded periscope and light guards. I'd be looking to change all of these personally. I've got resin light guards, although you get photo etch ones, but these periscope guards I'm going to try and fashion something up. But it's all pretty good. It's not too much of an issue. It's easy enough to sort out. I've got another couple of towing hooks there, so I might see what we end up using in this one, and then I can move them back to the Sherman Mk.Ic if possible. And then we've got a few little sprues that just cater for all the different things that you know are parts that need to be used in a Firefly 1C, which is like the pepper pot. Exhaust sort of shrouds, I think they're called. A few little boxes here as well. This is all for a Firefly 1C, as we can see up there. So that's a nice little sprue, more modern looking. We've got the lower hole tab, which is a welded one, so there's not bolts along the, well, anywhere really. And this is just the straight up M4, as it says there, so it's one of the more generic sprues. And then we've got the Firefly turret. So we'll get in here because this is what we're going to be using. Now I think this is a little bit older as well, because I think the Firefly originally came out quite a while ago when they tooled it. So this is back actually with more of the original stuff. So this is where we'll need to do a touch of work if we want to bring it up to the rest of the model, because there's no casting numbers. And the actual cast texture is a little bit soft, actually. So we're going to add a bit of texture to that, and probably be using, from what I can see, I think we're going to be using this bit. Yeah. So there we go. And if we put it side by side, you should be able to see. So as we won't be using this turret, we'll put it side by side. And hopefully you can see the difference in the cast texture. Now I would want this to be looking more like the one on the right hand side. This one. And I think you can see, I know it's subtle, but even from there, by catching the light, you can see how this is more like tiny little dimples, and this is really like cast texture. There's a lot of inconsistency all around it, as you can see as the light catches, and on the side here it's just quite plain. So I think it's simple enough to see there that we might need to add a bit of cast texture, but that's not a problem in my eyes. It's not something I worry about too much at all. What I actually quite like is, once we get to the turret, the rest of the hull is pretty much absolutely fantastic straight out of the box. So that's very good. We've got a two-piece muzzle brake there, but we've got one single barrel. I think this is all absolutely fine. It's basic, but it's fine. Now, if these are the mantlets we're going to need to use, we do have casting numbers on the side, which is good to see. I think we probably need one to go on here, but I need to check what that is. And then we'll add the cast texture around there, at least to match up with the lower part, if nothing else. So that's all very good. And you can see this is all the features of the Firefly that we need, where we got the welded blank off for the whole machine gun, the extra boxes that go out the back for the radio, the travel lock, and a few other little things. I think that's most of it, to be honest. So that's looking very good. And then we've got the tracks, which will need just a touch of cleanup on each one, if they're anything like the ones I've just done. We've got ejector pin marks. We've got two sort of push out marks there on the inside with a little raised sprue nib. But that's simple swipe of a sanding stick, no problem. Nice strong details on the actual face that you see, and they go together no problem. They look just apart. And then this is just exactly the same, only the horns, the teeth guide horns have been moulded at a slight angle, just to show what it's going to be like when it's going around a sprocket. So it's just at the pads at an angle when you hold it. So that's good. Now, that's one of the big perks of this kit, and then the other big perk is this big block of 3D printed resin, which they're starting to do. I've seen a couple kits have got a few 3D printed bits on them. Oh, it's kind of rubbery. How odd. And these are the Duckbills. You see they're on their 3D printed supports there. And you just super glue those on to the edge of the track. Let's get a piece out. So they've got two little pins which just go in like that. You just super glue them on, and that's your duckbill. So a little bit of work, but very detailed. And actually looking at the duckbill, it's very nice. So the way to make these interesting is usually when they go on, you know, if you leave sort of 5 or 6 off in random places, like they're broken off, it just gives it such a look. It really adds the detail, especially to these Mark 1Cs Fireflies that you see in all the reference picture. So that's a nice touch. Good way to add that. I think it's probably the only way to do it. Whether 3D printed is the only way, I'm not sure, but having them separate is probably the only way you can do it. This is the generic M4 clear sprue, which has got the periscopes and the lights and a few other little bits. That's all nice. And then we've got there used to be cartograph decals. Yeah, this is cartograph decals. There you go. See, look, 2009 the printing date. So it just shows you, you know, this kit's been about in a couple of ways. And there you can see those all look very nice. Quite a bit of carrier film, but I'm sure it's all not going to be too much of a problem. And with cartograph, you're guaranteed quality. Then we've got a photo etch fret as well, which does have the photo etch front fenders, a few grills, bit of glare, I'm afraid, sorry. Trying to catch it. So a couple of rails, light guards, machine gun ammo box parts as well, and as we go around here, all very nice stuff. Their photo etched can be a little bit stiff at times, but if you just warm it up over a candle or something, anneal it, it's no problem then. And there we go. Quite a detailed kit, quite a lot going on. So there we are, that is the Sherman Mk.Ic Firefly Hybrid from Dragon. I think that will hopefully give you a good overview. So hopefully that will give you a nice overview of the kit and show you that you do get a box packed full of very detailed sprues. Of course, the one thing to watch out for is that the turret is a little bit older compared to the rest of the moulding, so it will need a bit of detail to bring it up, which is simple stuff. And I will be doing a build of this. How soon, I'm not sure. I've just done a Dragon Sherman. I could easily roll straight into this because I really enjoyed it, but I'm trying to sort of not do the same thing all the time, so I'm sure I'll be doing this one before too long, and we'll go through and detail up the turret, add some weld details as well, which won't be evident, I would imagine, looking at the sprues. But the rest of the kit is extremely well detailed. It's a very impressive model. You've got all the casting marks and everything you should need out of the box to make a very detailed kit. And I think at sort of £60, I think that's reasonable. I think if you're looking at other stuff, when we're talking about RRP prices, I think that really is the kind of price for a kit of this quality. If you're thinking like our rifled models, or like the Mk Shermans, anything like that, or Asuka, they're all up around the £50 plus mark. So I think this one's right in there, and it's very worthy of being included as well. So very happy to have this kit myself. Very interested to go ahead and get it built up. So let me know your thoughts below, what you think, how your experience of Dragon kits. I do think, you know, if you make the right choice by doing a lot of research at each kit, you do actually end up with a very nice model at the end. So there are some that maybe are not so good, but like I said, look for this, look for the bits that you want to be in the kit included, and that should be the kit you should go for. So stay tuned to any future videos, and if you like what you see, do consider subscribing or liking the video, and let me know your comments down below on your view on Dragon kits, and I'll see you in the next video.